Alright, so check it. I'm going to do a video today on timing. There seems to be a lot of misconception about timing and total timing. A lot of people get the two confused. The timing on your distributor is either done on a vacuum for a vacuum advance, or it's either done by weights as a mechanical advance. And you could change those by actually vacuum pressure on a vacuum advance, and you could change mechanical by weight on the actual weights themselves and springs, lighter or heavier springs. So you really need to know exactly what you're starting out with in your distributor. If you got a vacuum advance, you need to find out what a vacuum is, run a vacuum test on it. If you got a mechanical, you need to find out what bushings and what springs are on it, so you know what advance is already on the distributor. Once you do that, you would want to get set 0 like normal. Then you're going to take, if you want your timing, let's just go, for instance, let's say 30, if you want a 36 degrees timing. So my distributor has a 21 degree advance mechanically on that in the actual distributor. So you're going to take that 21, which will be your initial, because it's coming directly from the distributor. That's your initial timing. And when you're set at the 0 mark, you're going to add on the timing tab whatever it takes to get to 36. And if you don't have enough room, if there's not enough room on your actual timing tabs, you can't really see it that well. Anyway, if you don't have to, get you some timing tape, or get a balancer that has the actual tape lines on it, so that you can set the 36 degree mark back at the 0 point, which would be, you know, your standard timing tab is going to be way over out the way, or your timing mark is going to be way over out the way away from the actual tab, so you'll be reading the dial that's going around the circumference of the harmonic balancer or damper, or whatever you're using. A lot of people are just not getting the idea of how to get the total timing on it. So you got to know what your advance is in the distributor, and then you add your number or subtract your number, whichever one you're doing, whether you're advancing or retarding, and that's how you get your total timing. And you want to make sure that your total timing is in between the range of 2,500 and 3,000 RPM. You don't want your total timing coming in too late, because then, you know, most engines are already building power around 3,000 RPMs. Then you can do that by changing the springs and the bushings in the distributor to help get your initial lower, so it's still easier to time down on the balancer. And, you know, most of your small blocks, at least Chevrolets, they're going to like anywhere from, depending if it's a nitrous motor, you could be 28, you know what I mean, 28 degrees, somewhere in that neighborhood. And if you're full on motor, you're going to be looking at anywhere from 34 to 38 degrees. Most of the time it's 36 degrees. But, you know, that's all in preference, that's all in build. Each motor is different. Those are just your ballparks to start in. But total time is not that big of a deal. It's just the advance that's in the distributor itself, whether it be mechanical or vacuum, plus the timing tab mark. That's your total timing. Hope that helps somebody if they're having some issues with total timing, or just not really sure where your motor's timed. Now you can also do this with a dial back gun that has a little dial on it where you set it on 0, or you set it at whatever your mark is, and you dial it back to 0. Or, I don't know, I may be telling you wrong, but they do make timing guns that have a dial on them to set it back without having to have the line around the balancer or the timing tape on it. So there's two ways to do it. But it's not that bad, it's not that hard, it's pretty simple. You just gotta stop and think about it. Hope it helps.